In this video, I wanted to revisit FDR's second economic Bill of Rights and why Bitcoin is the modern day equivalent of this. So FDR, in his last inaugural address, said every American has the right to a job, an adequate wage and decent living, a decent home, medical care, economic protection during sickness, accident, old age, or unemployment, and a good education. Bitcoin's Bill of Rights says, number 1, thou shalt not print beyond 21 million. The supply of money is fixed. No one can debase your savings. Number 2, thou shalt be able to audit the time chain. Anyone can verify every transaction and rule. No blind trust is required. Number 3, thou shalt have the right to self-custody. If you hold your keys, you hold your money. No permission is needed, and no one else has access to your Bitcoin. Number 4, thou shalt transact without permission. You can send value to anyone, anywhere, and at any time. Number 5, thou shalt not be censored. No central authority can block or reverse your transactions. Number 6, thou shalt have final settlement. When a transaction is confirmed, it's done. No chargebacks, no reversals. Number 7, thou shalt have equal access. The rules apply the same to everyone. No insiders, no special privileges. Number 8, thou shalt know the rules in advance. Bitcoin's rules don't change on a whim. They are transparent and predictable. Number 9, thou shalt opt in, not be forced. Participation is voluntary. No one can force you to use Bitcoin. And number 10, thou shalt verify, not trust. You don't need to believe in Bitcoin. You can check it yourself. Right? And especially with this last one, a lot of people are very skeptical about Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is open source software, meaning anyone can view the source code and implementation of Bitcoin and view the code themselves. They can also audit the network themselves. That's what running a Bitcoin node is. When you run a Bitcoin node, you download an entire copy of the Bitcoin blockchain, or I like to call it time chain, onto your computer, and you verify that incoming transactions are valid, and you validate the entire history of the Bitcoin time chain. And what's different about this from FDR's Bill of Rights is that Bitcoin is not up for interpretation, right? A lot of these are very up to interpretation. Like I said, a good education, what does that mean? Medical care, a home, a job, right? Like, who is providing these things? What defines these things? You need the state to intervene, and like we saw during this time period, the state requires a lot of power to implement this Bill of Rights, and they are not very clear and specific. But with Bitcoin, right, these are economic rights that anyone can verify, and they are binary values, right? The Bitcoin code says there will only be 21 million Bitcoin. The Bitcoin code says you can audit the time chain, right? These are all things that are baked into the system, and anyone can verify and audit these attributes of this monetary network. That's what makes this a truly, enforceable Bill of Rights. And even things like the Constitution and the Bill of Rights are more specific, but they're also up to interpretation in some ways. There's, a lot of debate and a lot of interpretation on what these things can mean. With Bitcoin, it's all based on math and numbers and physics, right? These are rules that are enforced by the different nodes of the network, right? There's thousands of people running the Bitcoin software on their computers, and they are enforcing this rule, and they are being stewards over the Bitcoin network and making sure that the rules don't change. And like I said, you can participate yourself. You can run a Bitcoin node and participate in the enforcement of this economic Bill of Rights. So this economic Bill of Rights isn't a promise from the government. It's a monetary system that enforces these rules inherently in its design, and that's what makes Bitcoin an elegant arbiter of economic freedoms and rights. That's about it for this video. My name is Josh. I make daily content here on YouTube. If you enjoy, just leave a like and subscribe. That really helps out the channel. And as always, together, let's work, save, and build a brighter future with Bitcoin. See you in the next video.